What's up, and welcome in to Under the Hood with me, Jonathan Hood. Thanks so much for downloading the podcast and checking us out on YouTube as well. Our YouTube is blowing up because of you. Thank you so much for going to Jonathan Hood Show, hitting that like button. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment on our show. And of course, if it's Monday, you know what that means. That means it's the J Hood and Cousin Wiley Show, and we're presented by the good folks over at Neighborhood Housing Services of Chicago. Oh, did I have a great time! Oh, did I have a great time at Iwan and Rise, the cigar shop over there on Wabash, because of Neighborhood Housing Services of Chicago. We had a great time, a great turnout from sponsors and listeners as well. Having a cigar, having a drink of Uncle Nearest as well. That was fun. And it's all because of Neighborhood Housing Services of Chicago. Great to meet the fans there. NHSchicago.org is where you go. Get out of that stuffy loft or that apartment. It's time to plant roots in 2026. So tell them J Hood sent you, but go to NHSchicago.org. Pass the word. That's the place you go to be able to get your own home. I want you to know that we've got so much content on Under the Hood. If you've missed it, Russell Dorsey was with us. We talked baseball with Russell Dorsey. Always great to talk to him. As well as talking about the Cubs and White Sox offseason and the Dodgers winning the World Series and what can baseball do about it. Our brother Darius Brockett from Brockett Media and College Sports Nation stopped by. That's going to drop on Wednesday, the full show on YouTube, talking about the college football scene. Of course, if it's Thanksgiving, there's going to be a lot of rivalries that will take place over the weekend. So we'll get a chance to hear from Darius Brockett and so much other content, Bulls with CJ Taylor and so much more. But just thank you so much for hitting that like button and checking us out on Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Time to hear from our crazy cousin Wiley. We do this because, well, instead of doing this on text message or just on the phone, we might as well just hit record and do it every week to talk about the Chicago Bears. Cuzzo, what's up? How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How you feeling, Cuzzo?
I feel great. I feel like 8-3 today. I feel like a winner today. I feel like 8-3. It's been an 8-3 day for me with the Chicago Bears and their victory against the Steelers.
It's Cuzzo. We haven't won 8 games since Mitch Trubisky was roaming the sidelines of the Chicago Bears. Like it's been like that's insane. It's been that long, but it's a great feeling. 8-3. Looking to have our first winning season in about a decade. So I'm excited.
You know what I'm excited about, Cuzzo, is that every game is something different with the Chicago Bears team. And it's funny that Ben Johnson is like Miss Cleo, right? He told you up front that every game has its own personality. Like everything could be different. Like 2 weeks ago, you know what it was about? It was about the tight end spot. And you saw Cole Kmet and you saw others at the tight end spot getting the job done. In this game, it was the others. There's some names of guys who we didn't even know was on the roster that were able to come through for this Bears team. So let me get your overall thoughts, because to me, it was really about the others stepping up in a big way, helping the Bears' victory.
Also, like Dennis Allen.
Oh, God bless
God
him.
bless.
There we go.
God bless.
Every week.
Dennis Allen.
Every week. God bless Dennis Allen. Go ahead.
Like I feel like Tupac made a song about Dennis Allen. Like he's just working with the scraps he was given, and he's just making miracles with whatever he's given. Cuzzo, yesterday he's without 3 of the starting corners. He's without all 3 linebackers that started the season, and he's without his edge rusher, a Dangbo. So we're talking about missing 7 players. He won a game with practice squad guys, Cuzzo. Practice squad guys. Like, I thought they may call me up and ask me that I want to, volunteer for, for a Sunday. I would have, shown up and just got my ass whooped for an hour or so just for the Bears. But, like, the guy just finds a way to get it done. So, like, I just want to see what he can do when his defense is, like, somewhat healthy. So hopefully that'll be this Friday when they play the Eagles. But, like, God bless Dennis Allen. The guy just delivers with whatever you give him. Just give him something, he'll figure it out. Serb sandwich today, just soul food tomorrow. It is what it is. Like I love that kid. I love that guy.
You go deep into that locker room of the Chicago Bears, and you're like, is anybody that can play for us on the defensive side? I mean, DeMarco Jackson is a dude that you went to school with. It's not a guy that is with the Chicago Bears, but apparently he is. He is someone with the Chicago Bears team, and he led the team in tackles, which I think that's just amazing. And then you take a look at Obong Bamiga, who is a special teams player in that locker room, pressing the service. The green dot, by the way, that everyone's talking about is DeMarco Jackson getting the signals from Dennis Allen. And those two were game wreckers. Those two stepping into place, Cuzzo, did a great job for the Chicago Bears. There's no doubt about that. So the other thing, too, I just want to point out is that Ozzie Trapillo, second-round draft pick. So the question was, could he play on the left side or right side of the offensive line? He had to come in because there was an injury there on the left side. And Trapillo, you didn't even hear his name. You know why you didn't hear his name? Is because he did the job. So that offensive line was pretty stout for the Chicago Bears.
No, he did. Like, I thought, like, if I'm looking at the tackles yesterday, I thought Trapillo held his own the best against that Steelers pass rush. And we heard that this was a kid who was, tailor-made for the right side, but we've had, Ben Johnson and his staff work with the kid so he can be a competent left tackle. And just being honest, when it came to pass rushing, he was far better than Benedict. Like I thought, I think the Canadian kid has been great against the run, run blocking, but pass blocking, I think he struggled since he's been back there. So it was nice to see Ryan Poles draft picks, step up and have a moment yesterday, like all around. Like this draft has been really good when it comes to the development of the team. And I think that, you have to give obviously Ben Johnson a lot of credit and his staff a lot of credit, but Ryan Poles is Chef Poles has been cooking.
Yeah. So looking at those young players, I thought it was a banner day for Ryan Poles' draft class. It's funny, on the Cap and J Hood morning show, someone got triggered. A caller from Tampa called in on Monday morning. It's like, Ryan Poles has been awful. I was like, hey, man. I was like, we're not trying to talk about his whole time with the Chicago Bears as general manager. There's been some hits, there's been some misses. But I'm just referring to what happened in this game where Monungai, 12 for 48 with a touchdown. Ozzie Trapillo, solid on the offensive line and maybe out of position. Who knows? Newman coming through and filled in admirably. Hippolyte had 2 tackles before he got hurt. Loveland was 4 for 49 with a touchdown. Burden was 3 for 46. I just think that the kids stepped in a big way. And some of these no-name players that we didn't even know was on the roster, this is a game I'll remember, Cuzzo, as a game in which everybody had to really pull from the same rope in order to beat the Steelers on Sunday.
One thing that I'm loving about this team this year, in years past, the Bears defense gave up 23 points. They were pretty much guaranteed to lose the game. And I got this stat courtesy of Mark Potash, so hopefully I'm remembering it correctly. The Bears this season are 4-3 when the defense gives up 23 points. 4-1 since week 2. Prior to, over the last 11 years prior to this season, the Bears were like 6-85 when they gave up 23 or more points. Oof. Like, so basically, if you gave, you're going to lose. Like, that tells you that those offenses, one, sucked, and that the defense had to give up 20 points or fewer to even have a chance of the Bears winning the game. You can't play in this modern day NFL if you can't win a game if your defense gives up 23 points. So seeing that we've decided to turn a corner and have an offense that helps supplement the defense, or maybe even the defense supplements the offense, I think that's this new era of the Bears is refreshing as a fan, because you believe like we can score points. And even right now, we got Caleb Williams with 20 total touchdowns. this season. He had 20 total last year. We still got 6 games left. So he's, barring a catastrophic injury, he's going to blow past those 20 touchdowns. So it's exciting to be a Bears fan in this modern NFL with Ben Johnson, Caleb, and Chef Poles, in the kitchen cooking. And, of course, I can't leave out my guy, Dennis Allen.
All right. Again. Okay. All right. Enough of Dennis Allen. God bless him. Okay. You've already blessed him once. That's enough. That's enough of blessing Dennis Allen. Actually, he has done a tremendous job because he won't, Cuzzo, play with a full complement of starters. He won't unless it's in the playoffs. Like, I don't think that he'll get everything that he wanted. And so you have to coach him up. It's funny. When it comes to sports, sometimes it's unidentifiable to try to figure out like who's coached up to a certain level and who's not, because there's God-given ability from every athlete. Who knows how the light comes on for some athletes and how it doesn't come on. I just think that from what I understand from the Bears, like it's all encompassing. It's the coaches that demand accountability. They demand them to be excellent. They go through everything as far as the meetings are concerned. And then on the other end, you get response from the athlete. So that's what's happening with the Bears. The coaching's there. But then on top of that, what we're seeing here is the players responding to the coaching staff.
No, it is. And I think that when you're trying to build a winning culture, you need all of those elements involved in that to be able to win. And you have a Bears team that is starting to believe that not only they're going to win, that they should win. And that's dangerous because I think the Bears have played well on defense and on offense this season. But I don't think either one of us can say the Bears have had a great defensive game or a great offensive game. So as I think I was saying to you last week, we still don't know what the Bears' ceiling is. As an offensive unit, and we definitely don't know what it is on the defensive side because they haven't been healthy defensively. So I think we can see the Bears take some steps over these final 6 games that may surprise a lot of people. So it obviously starts with Caleb and Ben on offense. And if they can find a way to, get some more consistency out of the unit as far as, some of the great plays, who knows how far this Bears team can go this season, because I don't think either one of us thought they would be 8-3 and in first place on Thanksgiving.
So let me just ask you before I continue, is your mascot, is the show mascot trying to move around? What's going on in the Wiley household? What's going on here?
He is being a pest right now because he'll move around me and then he'll stop, but he'll hear me talking, he'll get up and start moving around again. I think he believes because I am, facing the computer that I won't, interact with him. So he's doing it to get my attention. And yeah, like I've wanted to, abuse my dog, but
what are you doing?
The fans may not like that. No, I'm joking. No,
you are not a dog abuser.
No.
Wait a minute. Do you want the people to come to your house and then take our show mascot? You can't have that.
Like my kids would kill me if I did anything to to the dog. So
also the audience doesn't want to hear that either. They don't want to hear Dateline issues over at the house either.
Yeah.
So
the Menendez kids, they came and why did they kill him?
Cousin Wiley does a podcast every Monday. And somehow one fateful day, the kids decide to kill Wiley because he messed up the dog. You want that? I don't think we want that. Let's not have Dateline coming over.
Not at all. Okay. Move. You already know better than that.
Yeah,
upstairs.
It's not his time, Cuzzo. It's not his time to come on.
No, yeah, he's definitely doing the most right now. Like he is, yeah,
Yeah, his time is at the end of the show. Just get out of there. Oh my
yeah.
God.
He may not even make that today. It's like
Oh,
no, yeah,
punishment. Okay. Oh, I understand.
right,
Well, we continue on with our Bears, but I just know I know the audience is wondering like why is his eyes wandering off the podcast? It's because there's something going on in the house, and usually it's our show mascot. So that's the
yes,
problem, Rocky, and he's moving around. So anyway, nonetheless, NHS appreciates it, by the way. NHSchicago.org appreciates Rocky's interference on our podcast. So Caleb Williams, you mentioned that, he's really been able to step up in a big way. The numbers speak for themselves. It's 2,568 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and 94.5 passer rating. Look, we've gone this long without really talking about Caleb Williams, which tells you that this is a team situation happening with the Bears. Like it's unknown defensive guys and Nashawn Wright coming up with the interception, and it's the offensive line. But Caleb, as he continues to grow, his name gets bigger and bigger in the headlines. People will look at the 19 for 35, good for 239 yards, but the 3 touchdowns stand out. Man, you saw the stats, Wiley, about how effective with those touchdowns that Caleb Williams was. And again, you can't turn a blind eye to it. No interceptions, got sacked once, which was a huge mistake, but JJ Watt is elite, so you get that. But ultimately, Caleb Williams was good, not great, but always with more room to improve for his game. You're muted, Cuzzo. You blinked out there. But yeah, so for Caleb Williams and his standpoint, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. In a game in which, that you needed his arm to be able to get the job done. You also needed help from the running game, which you got some of. I think the Bears could have ran the football a little bit more, but the stat that stands out is that the Bears, they threw the ball 18 consecutive times, and Ben Johnson blacked out. He didn't even know he was doing that. And you're still muted, sir. You're still muted. You want to come out and come back in.
no.
Yeah,
Can you
you're
hear me
good.
now?
Yep, go ahead.
All right. So I muted myself and I thought I unmuted it, but okay. But so I felt like Ben Johnson should have been passing the ball, period, just because of the fact that the Steelers were poor against the pass, and they're really good against the run. So if you're looking to attack the defense, running the ball against a defense that plays the run well probably isn't the best approach. So him unleashing Caleb in the second and third quarter, I thought made the most sense because that's how they were going to beat the Steelers. They were not going to beat the Steelers with DeAndre Swift, running for 2 yards per carry or less than 2 yards per carry, and Manungai, trying to grind out 3 or 4 yards a carry. So throwing the ball, pressing it downfield against a suspect secondary, to me, was the best approach. And like even what you mentioned, Caleb, 16 passing touchdowns, he still has 3 rushing touchdowns in a receiving touchdown. Like that's winning football all around. So we're seeing an offense and a quarterback start to blossom. And I'm looking forward to see what Caleb can be against the upper echelon of the NFL over these next 6 games, because they don't have an easy game on the schedule. Even talking about the Browns, defensively, the Browns are elite across the board. They have one of the best defenses in the NFL. So
Yeah.
It's going to be a struggle to beat these teams. So we're going to need Caleb to play at a very high level. We're going to need him to play at a first pick in the draft level these next 6 games to win and make the playoffs.
Well, every game has its own personality. And so in this game, this is the DJ Moore game. DJ Moore was so happy to be able to get the football and be able to score a couple of touchdowns. He's earned it, man, because he has been a blocking wide receiver. He's gotten really run over by defenses because he makes the tough catches. He's a tough wide receiver, because I didn't know that when he first got here. I don't think that was expressed, that how tough he is. But as far as like the tight window passes from Caleb Williams, DJ Moore is right there, man. And so for him to get a couple touchdowns, I know that felt good for him because he was able to provide a spark for the Bears offensively. And then it's just that Caleb Williams was able to just put it right on the numbers for Moore. He didn't drop it. 7 targets for him was great. His guy Roma Dunze had 9 targets, by the way, and 3 for 53, no touchdowns. So maybe James and Dunze will have something to say, the father of Rome, at some point about that. But it's not like they're not giving the football. I mean, he got 9 targets, but DJ Moore was right on target, and I'm sure he was happy about yesterday.
I'm going to need Rome to drag his feet on the sideline. I'm going to need Rome to start making some catches that he should make when you're a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. And like I think he is, has the potential to be, a really great tight end. I mean, great receiver in the NFL, but like he misses some of the basic stuff that he like it's just wide receiver one-on-one he's struggling with at times.
I want to talk to you about Aaron Rodgers as well, because Aaron Rodgers did not play. And again, cat and mouse in the NFL, where it's like you don't say anything until Saturday. He's probable, maybe he'll play. And I was thinking, maybe he does have balls. Maybe he will play with that fractured wrist if they tape it up and he just works with the right hand. That would have added to the legacy of Rodgers if he would have came in here and beat the Bears with one hand. He already was he's already like 25-5. Imagine if he does it with one hand and not being able to grip the ball with his left, but still throw it with his right. Here's the question that we'll never know. We probably won't see Rodgers against the Bears anymore. Like, I think that we might be done with this. But I'd like to know if Rodgers played, would the Bears win?
Well, I mean, Rodgers broke his wrist, so I think the Bears would have had a great chance against Rodgers out there with a broken wrist. So I would like the chances with Rodgers with a broken wrist. So who knows? Rudolph struggled yesterday. I mean, he completed a lot of passes, but they were like the 4 or 5 yard variety.
Yeah.
I think that was more of an Arthur Smith shit game call, because he should have been able to take advantage of a Bears defense that was decimated with injuries, and he just dinked and dunked and gave the Bears an opportunity to make plays. Would Rodgers have protested and audible out some of those awful calls? Probably. But with the injuries that he was suffering with, he would have been limited to shotgun really the entire game, which would have neutralized their running attack. So I would have liked the Bears' chances even with Aaron Rodgers out there with his broken wrists.
I don't think you have to do that with the wrist. I think we understand that his wrist was not working. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there, and we have not met his new wife yet. So there's that.
She has a lovely beard. I mean, she's a lovely woman. Lovely woman.
Just throwing lobs. There's no reason for that at all. You don't know what she looks like. No one knows what she looks like, actually.
I mean, she's a great beard. Evan Rodgers, keeps a beard around.
Okay.
You have to have a beard when you're in that position right there.
And just for point of fact, folks, Rodgers was clean shaven. He had the mustache, but did not have a beard. So I don't know what he's saying there. I don't know what Wiley's trying to say there, but she has not been seen. I'd like to point out with Mason Rudolph, you are correct that there was a lot of 5-yard passes. They're just trying to keep the Bears at bay, I guess, defensively, keeping them off balance. So Mason Rudolph was 24 for 31, good for 171 yards. He had a touchdown, interception, he had a fumble, and so you just kind of knew if it was Rudolph, it gave the Bears a chance to win, and also that gave a chance for Montez Sweat to come through. Montez Sweat is back. That is so encouraging to see Montez Sweat come through defensively and get a couple sacks. Almost had 3, but you know how much that opens up maybe the rest of the defense. If somebody gets home, then that can help out others. And I'm so happy for Montez Sweat in that game.
What is that? 6.5 sacks since the bye week? Like that, like he's balling. Like he's played himself into sticking around next year, which I thought he was going to be cut. I thought him and Tremaine Edmonds would get cut in the offseason. Both have played well enough where you're going to at least keep them around for another season. So I'm I'm happy with the production of Sweat. I would like to see Austin Booker and old man Grady, perform a little better, as well as seeing what's my guy 99. Wow, how can I forget his name? The other tackle, big strong guy.
For the Bears?
Yeah.
Javon Dexter.
There we go, Dexter. Yeah, like baby Larry Allen, because they say he's like super strong, but like the strength, he doesn't make plays with the strength. He just pushes the guy, but he doesn't get off the block at all. He just pushes the guy back, but just get off the block to make plays. But I like to see him make more plays, and hopefully getting healthy in the secondary, they can make more plays. Cuzzo, question.
Yes, sir.
What happens when Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon come back? Do you bench Stevenson? Because I can't see you taking Nahshon Wright out right now.
Well, there's a couple of things at work here. So Nahshon Wright understands that he's playing like a Pro Bowler right now, actually, which is he's been opportunistic, getting interceptions, and he's actually played pretty well for the most part for the Bears. I just think that the starters get back in there because that's how that works. Like it was asked today whether or not like Ozzie Trapillo takes over at left tackle instead of the Canadian Eagle. Well, it's the Canadian Eagle's job, right? But I just think that all of this is an evaluation. I think that when you get the starters back, the starters get their job back. And that's just how that works, right? It's just like you just don't Nahshon Wright and Tyreek Stevenson, that's another guy, like you just mentioned. Like Tyreek Stevenson, I think, is going to be a starter because I think that he is learning how to be in this position as a leader. He needs to be the leader in that secondary. And I know that he's injured now. Don't know if he's going to be available for Friday, but, I just think the guys that were the starters will be back as starters again, I think, for the Bears. I think it's only right.
Makes sense. But at least they'll have some health and have better depth than practice squad guys.
That's right. So now your depth pieces are better because they have some experience. They got some skin in the game, Cuzzo. So that's there's nothing wrong with that. The guys that's been stepping up in a big way. Like a bigger question is like C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Like he starts, right? You don't want a guy that gave you a couple of key plays when he first got to the Bears. And now all of a sudden he's kind of shelved. That ain't going to work for him. That's a veteran. Like he's got to get meaningful playing time.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I think that that's important. A couple of news and notes we want to get to for this Bears team that's 8-3 on the season. So when it comes to Caleb Williams, because 19 for 35, we mentioned 239 yards, 3 touchdowns, the third game this season in which Caleb had 3 passing touchdowns, had 2 such games last year. So, again, improving. From there, here's a little inside football. Williams was 16 for 23 with 215 yards and 3 touchdowns on passes thrown between the numbers. That's the most such passing yards in his career. So, again, growth. When it counts, 16 for 23 over 200 yards. Like everyone's looking at the 4,000 yards or more, or 35, 40 touchdowns. I just want the young man to be able to grow at the position. Those numbers are meaningful. The other thing is that what Courtney Cronin put out there on X, on Twitter, she said that Williams was pressured on 8 of 37 dropbacks, the lowest pressure that he's faced this season. And that's because the Steelers' defense they weren't opportunistic. They weren't getting after it. I think that number is interesting, especially based on how the Bears played the Cowboys, where there was 0 pass rush, as you remember, in that game. So without pressure, Caleb probably should have better numbers. But the point is, I got 3 touchdowns. I should be able to win with 3 touchdowns.
Absolutely. And that was the key part, is that they, one, came back from a deficit at halftime, and those touchdowns, 4 touchdowns by the offense, gave them the margin for victory. So you don't win those games when the defense gets a 3-and-out or force turnovers and you don't score on those drives. The Bears scored on all those drives, and and I think Matt Eberflus used to call that complimentary football, even
Sure.
though they didn't score many points, but they played complimentary football, and that made a huge difference. And this year, we saw a lot of times where the defense forced a turnover, and the Bears either got a 3-and-out or they settled for a field goal. Yesterday, they scored touchdowns. They need to continue to score touchdowns when defense gets stops or turnovers. So I was happy to see the performance by the offense, and we have to keep that up because this next 6 games are going to be really, really difficult, starting with the Eagles on Friday.
Speaking of the Eagles on Friday after Thanksgiving, it is your time, sir. It is your spotlight. It's time for you to tell people why the Bears, after Thanksgiving, will go to the link, will go to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. How will the Bears beat the Eagles, Cuzzo?
All right. Gather around, boys and girls. This is a game that many expect the Bears to lose. I think the line is like Bears +7 right now. So to me, the Eagles are overrated. This is an offense that scored 50 points over the last 3 games. They're 24th in yards per game, 23rd in passing, 20th in rushing, and 17th in points. That's not an elite offense. Even defensively, they have a worse pass defense than the Bears. Even with all the talent, they have a worse pass defense than the Bears. And they have 1 fewer sack than the Bears. You know, we don't consider the Bears a great pressure team. Eagles are missing Lane Johnson. He's going to be out for the game. I think the Bears defense is going to find a way to stop the run and force Jalen Hurts to play quarterback. And he's proven this year he can't play quarterback at an elite level. Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are going to find ways to score touchdowns. Bears are going to win this game. Bears are going to win 24-20. So we're going to be talking about possibly a Bears team that may be first place in the NFC by the time they play the following Sunday. Bear down.
Cuzzo, did you just say that Jalen Hurts has a hard time playing the position, the Super Bowl champion Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles? Is that what you just said?
So I am a fan of Jalen Hurts, the playoff quarterback.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts this season had, minus like the touchdown numbers, whatever, he hasn't performed at an elite level. Like, again, 23rd in passing. Like, numbers don't lie. They've scored 50 points over the past 3 games.
Okay, so the
points.
run. So what about Saquon Barkley? Maybe if Barkley is at the top of his game, you don't necessarily need the pass. I understand the frustration of the receivers in Philadelphia. That's the story. Like, AJ Brown is, even though he's got a ring, he's fit to be tied because he's not getting the ball enough. Some of these other guys too, but they have a potent running game in Barkley. How do you slow that down with this defensive line?
Not this year. They're 20th. They're 20th in rushing this year. The Bears are second. So we're talking about an Eagles offense that's struggling across the board. So I don't, even with the Bears getting healthy on defense, I don't see the Eagles offense running down the Bears' throat at all. I just don't, because they haven't proven they can do it all season. Since the first couple games of the year, they haven't proven they can score points. So I don't think that's going to change this year with them. One, unlike the Bears, the Eagles have a lot of internal turmoil. Like you have your quarterback that's getting anonymous. His teammates are putting anonymous. We talk about Brown, putting anonymous posts to the press about his talent, or what he's doing on the field. Like the Bears don't have that. So you have a Bears team of believers and an Eagles team that's kind of going through the motions. They're winning games, but they're winning games because of their defense, not because of their offense. And even their defense, passing wise, suck. So if the Bears just decide to pass the ball 20 straight times on Friday, I think they may have success, because even with the elite players the Eagles have on defense, they don't have anyone that can rush the passer. They haven't shown it this year. 22 sacks. 22 sacks. We're talking about an elite front seven with 22 sacks. Like, that's criminal right there. So I think Caleb will be clean, and I think Ben Johnson will find a way to push the ball down the field, and the Bears are going to win 24-20.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Cuzzo believes that Ben Johnson will be laughing after the game, laughing at the Philadelphia Eagles on Black Friday. That's what you're saying.
Yes, we're talking about after Sunday. If the Rams find a way to lose a game, we could be talking about the Bears being
The real 8-3 team, right?
the
Yeah. I think that's what it comes down to, Cuzzo. Who's the real 8-3 team? We're gonna find out between the Bears and the Eagles on Black Friday. Okay, so one of the things we need to talk about before we wrap up, and that is Shedeur Sanders. We need to talk about him. And you say, well, why are we talking about the Browns? No, it's not about the Browns. It's about Shedeur Sanders. So Shedeur Sanders did something that for the Browns that has not been done since 1995, and that is a quarterback in his debut winning. That hasn't happened since Eric Zaire. It's been a long time. But Shedeur Sanders and the Browns won the ball game. Now, of course, Cuzzo, you and I like our Bears. We like our 325 game of the week. We like our red zone. So it's not like that we were keyed in on the Browns. We just kept getting notices on the Browns and how they're playing against Vegas. It's the toilet bowl between the two. They're both terrible. And so, it wasn't worth watching. But I know that my Cleveland friends were interested to see what it would be like with Shedeur Sanders as a starter as Dylan Gabriel was out because of injury. And so Shedeur is out there. He finishes 11 for 20, good for a touchdown and interception. And so after the game, he's all smiles, and he's just like, man, I just did this after a week of practice. Imagine what else could happen. And people are like outraged by what Shedeur Sanders was saying. Like, oh, man, it's your first game. Act like you've been there before. The one thing that I would tell, especially younger people watching and listening to this podcast, Shedeur Sanders has a lot of confidence. But that's because it's not because he plays for the Browns. It's because he's Deion Sanders' son. And Deion Sanders, for those at a certain age, remember Deion at Florida State. Must be the money. Dude was doing videos and hitting everything that moves because he's Deion Sanders, right? He goes to the NFL. He goes to Major League Baseball. He plays baseball and football at the same time. He was on all the covers of Sports Illustrated. He was doing music videos. He had the bling. He had the confidence, and he was great. Shedeur Sanders grew up with Deion Sanders. The whole family has just unlimited confidence in themselves because it's Deion Sanders. I don't think there's anybody in that family that lacks confidence because Deion, even with a 3-8 record at Colorado, he still believes that he can turn it around, right? So just unflinching confidence. So when people get on Shedeur, I'm just confused by it because his dad's Deion. So of course he's going to feel like that he's confident. He can raise the bar for the Browns.
I don't understand, especially in this modern society, while we want athletes to conduct themselves like it's 1956. It's insane. If he wants to show emotion or display the confidence he has in his abilities, that's the great part of sports now. It's why we are huge wrestling fans as a country. So because they have a lot of bravado and confidence, we love that. But then when it comes to our athletes, we're like, no, let's go back to 1956, and you just have the character or the emotion of a white or beige room. Like that isn't going to get it done. So like seeing Sanders come out, Shedeur Sanders come out there yesterday and play relatively well, especially considering that there were a lot of grown men hoping that the kid failed. Like somehow his failing was going to bring them joy. It's insane. So just hats off to him coming out there playing well against some odds because you have a lot of Stefanski didn't want to play him. He's been backing Gabriel, and I think for all of us, Gabriel one is a midget, a lefty, but he's okay as a quarterback. But just looking at both, and you can tell that Sanders has far more talent than Gabriel. So,
okay,
he should have been a backup to begin with. But it is what it is now.
You can't use that term. You can't about Gabriel. You can't.
I apologize. He's a vertically challenged guy.
Okay.
He's a vertically challenged quarterback.
I think just for clarification, like you could use dwarf if in that spot. But speaking of 1956, it's called the man of midget. I mean, you don't use that term anymore. You can't do that, Cuzzo.
I'm not a professional, so
it's not a professional. You just said no. I'm talking about just in life. It's not about being out there. You can't call small people that term anymore. Speaking of 56,
I apologize.
Oh my!
I apologize to all my vertically challenged people out there. Just it was a mistake. I'll be better, and I look forward to showing that I'll be better when talking about vertically challenged quarterbacks in the NFL. But back to Shedeur Sanders, I think that talent-wise, it's clearly he has far more talent than Gabriel has. Gabriel may have the experience, but I think coaching can help Shedeur Sanders come along when it comes to that. And Stefanski did a relatively good job on Sunday, and I think if he has another couple weeks to work with Shedeur, he can help put him in a position to continue to be successful. And they may have their quarterback of the future, which was drafted in the 5th round, 4 rounds later than virtually everyone predicted he would be drafted.
Well, I'll say this, and by the way, if you're going to say that about vertically challenged people, just be careful. You're walking down the street, and all of a sudden, just remember they're close to your jewels. They'll hit you in the balls, and you can't protect yourself because just understand they're right down there. They can knock you out.
Well, I've had I'm gonna share this with the audience. I've had, my bucket list is to find me a vertically challenged young woman who who can stand on business. That's on the bucket list. To find one of those who can stand on business. It's on the list, Cuzzo. It's on the list.
I don't think that's on the list, Cuzzo. I don't think that you're. Why do you want it? Is that why you're wearing the Rent Me shirt today? You want?
Well, this is for Ryan Poles, just in case he's looking for a linebacker on Sunday. I can go out there and be an undersized linebacker and get my ass whooped for an hour or so.
But that shirt's not for vertically challenged women. You want them to rent you for an hour or?
No. My services are free for them. Just free. I just need one. Just one. They can stand on business.
Well, they'd have to stand on something, I'm sure. I don't know about business, but they have to stand on something for you, I'm sure.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. My God. Go ahead, AI. Put that out there. Go ahead, moderate that. Make sure they put something out there that Wiley's fantasy is to be with a vertically challenged woman. Let's have that cut up for us. Yes.
Absolutely. It's on the list.
Okay. I think that it's something to be said about being too extreme. Whether it's our politics, whether it's our culture, there's a certain thing about being too extreme. I think that I can say that for any young quarterback, their future is not ruined because they get on the field and underachieve. Because you could always go to another coach, you could always go to another quarterback coach or another head coach or another system, and maybe you can flourish. Sometimes the light turns on late for some people. So I'm not going to say Shedeur Sanders is going to fail because he's a young quarterback. But I just find it interesting that there are some that will back Shedeur Sanders to the nth degree, thinking that he's going to be Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. And I would say for any young quarterback, let them develop, let them do it on their own. There is a feeling of Tebowism, I believe, when it comes to Shedeur Sanders from Skip Bayless, Josina Anderson, and some others. Like, he's going to be great. Leave him alone. Like, my point is, Wiley, is let the young man develop. He's already got the confidence. He doesn't need the press to give him more confidence. He doesn't need Cleveland sports radio stations to give him like, he's good on the confidence. Now it's about the ability and the production. And I just think that it's not that, oh, he was not that great at Colorado, so he's going to suck. And also it's, oh, he's going to be the next big thing. What it is you support the young man or any young quarterback that you feel like, hey, at some point they're going to get it. I just think that the dichotomy also that is strange is how people look at J.J. McCarthy, the national champion with Michigan, being with Minnesota and really struggling, and then some looking at Shedeur Sanders and thinking that, well, too much bravado, too much smiling, too much confidence, he's going to fail. I just think that for any young quarterback, they need the opportunity to grow. Let young people grow. That's all I would say. I sent you the McCarthy stats. There's some stuff there, Cuzzo, that's really bad for McCarthy, but he's had 6, 7 starts. I mean, coming off the injury, and then this year he's setting the Vikings back based on his quarterback play. But he's got to learn. Doesn't mean that that's who he is, but he's got to learn and get better.
Did you hear that he's a winner?
Yes, every morning I hear that he's a winner. Yes,
he's a winner. But yeah, I agree. Like, you're putting unnecessary pressure on these kids. Give them the time to develop. Let them develop at their own pace. And if they fail, they fail. Even you're seeing the differences when it comes to McCarthy struggling. He's 6 interceptions. I mean, 6 straight games with at least 1 interception. It's a Vikings record. He's approaching an NFL record, but they take the concussion, so he may not get that record because he may not start again this season. But it's the extremes, from every angle, to me, at times are annoying as a fan of sports, and we're seeing that when it comes to Shedeur. We're seeing that some people are over the top with the criticism of him, and we're seeing them make excuses for a guy like McCarthy, who is statistically the worst quarterback in the NFL over the past 30 years outside of Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah.
Like, when you're behind, when you're just slightly ahead of Jamarcus Russell when it comes to suckage, then you're having a hard time. And it's not like he doesn't have talent around him. He has arguably, if not the best wide receiver in the game, he has arguably the second best wide receiver in the game. He has a quality number 2 receiver in Jordan Addison. He has a nice rushing attack, and he has arguably one of the top 2 or 3 offensive minds in the game in O'Connell as his head coach. So his struggles, to me, are a lot worse than whatever Jamarcus Russell could have done and whatever Shedeur may be doing right now. So call it fair. Just call it fair and leave the extremes aside. Like, the kids will perform. We can judge their performance based on the quality or the incompetence of their performance. I think we need to get back to that instead of all the hot takes.
That's all fair. That's all fair, sir. Good thought there. And we just want young quarterbacks developed, and all going to develop at the same time, but we don't need to shut the door on them. I think that's fair. So with Thanksgiving coming up, I don't even really have to ask you, but because of our show, I should ask you what is on the menu for Thanksgiving. I think I already know.
Oh, I mean, you got the pies. I love my sweet potato pie. Like, I love the pies. I love this, but I can't just have pies. I gotta have the sweet potatoes as well. Yeah. Macaroni, the dressing, the turkey. I don't eat the ham, so I won't. I'll make the ham, but I won't eat it. And You gotta have some cranberry with the turkey.
Mm-hmm. Well, which one, Cuzzo, is a
You gotta
must-have?
have to. I'm all for. Say it again.
So, which one is a must-have for Thanksgiving?
So, my must-have. I don't have to have anything else outside of macaroni and sweet potatoes and pie. So, like, you can just take all the food away and just fill my plate with macaroni, with the not your box macaroni you put on the stove, folks. So if you're one of those people, I'm not talking about that macaroni at all.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about the real good stuff you put in the oven. So give me the baked macaroni and some sweet potatoes, and give me a couple pies, and I'm going to be happy all weekend. Just roll me out, and I need a little whiskey with that too, just a little bit. Maybe a lot, but don't tell anybody. But I'll be fine. That's all I need.
So no squirrel and no raccoon this year, huh?
No squirrel raccoon ever. I will try it. I will try it when I'm away, but
Don't
not for
you?
Thanksgiving.
Okay. Don't say that you didn't have it now, because that was okay.
I
So
will try everything.
I just want to make sure it's very clear that in our family that was fine dining, but not necessarily a main course though. It was just something, and I think it was in your household too, because usually those animals were shared from my
Yes.
household to your household. So sometimes it was Bob Hood coming to Harold to be able to share the certain animals that they were able to hunt or receive. So I would just say that yes, back in the day, we don't do it now, thank goodness, but it was along with the main fine dining of Thanksgiving would be a raccoon or a rabbit that was also part of the fare.
You get a little stew, But yeah, we've evolved as a unit since that time. You know, no judgment, none. But
Yeah.
we evolved a little bit since that time. We allow other people to kill our food for us, and then we consume it after they kill it. So yeah, thanks to evolution or laziness, depending on how you want to look at it.
They and you're talking about the people that I love and the people that you love would be whooping your ass by saying evolve, using that term, a sense
Yes.
of evolved away from food that they would hunt and gather, or
Yes.
someone would bring it up from the South. I will never forget my uncle, my dad's brother, that would come from a 2-lane highway all the way from Arkansas to Chicago. And the the notion is that he'd come like at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock the night before Thanksgiving and say, May, I got something for you for Thanksgiving. I just wanted to add something. And he pull out the station wagon. It would be some animal of some sort. Unfortunately for Uncle LC, it was still moving in the bag. Okay. So he didn't quite get him. So had to go in the backyard and just make sure that it was all good. And he said, all right, all good now. You can put him in the pot. And so we're talking about what, like a 10-hour drive, 2-lane highway going up with something moving around the back that he did not hear because, well, there's always moonshine there because if you shake our family tree, some bottles will fall out every time. So nothing like the homemade moonshine from the still, okay, that he would bring along. And then the animal could be a pheasant, could be something, right? Could be something, Cousin Wiley. And then all of a sudden, didn't quite get him moving around the bag. So, excuse me, I'll take him to the backyard to finish him off. Bam! All right. So now we will clean him off and have him on the table for Thanksgiving. I love that's some shit right there, boy. That's some country shit right there.
I love most about that though is that the men would kill the animal. The men would kill the animal, but the woman had to clean it, cut it, do everything else.
Yeah.
And to me, the easiest thing to do was killing the animal.
Wait a minute.
You shoot him from a distance, up close, wherever it may have been. But then you say, "Huh, take this bloody carcass and give me food," and they would bring food. So shout out to all the women who.
To be clear, this is not something from the 1960s. This was as late as 89, 90. Okay. So this was
Yes.
not something from back in the day. The old school of the man hunting and gathering and saying it could be fish. Oh, here you go. Here's a fish. You clean them and you cook them. I mean, but this is the deal. This is why it was so great back in the day. Wiley, think about how you had it made as a guy from the South back then, right? Because this is how they grew up. So it did so that never broke the chain. Like you're not getting that today with women today. You're not the idea that you go and hunt a duck, right? You kill a couple of ducks. You want, and duck is good by the way. Duck's fantastic. To have duck and then tell the lady, hey, you need to strip the duck down and make sure that we don't get sick from it and cook it and then put it on the table. That's amazing.
Cause if I came and brought a dead animal that I killed to a woman and asked them to skin it and
Yes.
to clean it and to cook it, the next time you had me on your show, I would look like Martin when he fought Tommy Hearns on his show. There's just
Yeah.
welts all over my face, just it would be brutal just to ask a woman, hey, clean this thing and cook it for me. Yeah, it wouldn't end well for me. So
I think we might have enlightened some people that's listening and watching our podcast, but that's how our and I know there's some families that are shaking their head like, yep, that's how it was. But this is a thing for a long time until they were not able to cook. If they could stand up around the stove in the oven to do it, they do it. That's the way it was.
It's a different era, we just so no one doesn't understand, we love all the women of this era. We do. You all are the best. We wouldn't trade you. And well, I would trade you for a Super Bowl, but outside of a Super Bowl, I wouldn't trade you for anything else. You're phenomenal.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just different.
Good job. Phenomenal woman. Very good.
Yes.
Very good. So happy Thanksgiving to you and your family and everyone listening and watching the program. So is Rocky banned? He can't come back to the show. Did you punish him?
Yeah, we're gonna give him a week off. We're gonna give him a
Oh
week off
man.
because he's all he did the entire time. He took it a step further because he went to jump on the couch. And, he knows he can't be on the couch. He gets on the couch only for his performance. He gets to come on the couch and and smile for the camera. But he was like, F that. I'm going on the couch right now because I need my shine. So I'm going to rob him of that right now. He's not going to get it. Sorry, Rocky.
Rocky very much like Dad in that regard. Just smiling for the camera and plopping up on the couch. Very similar.
Yes.
Very similar. Now I know where he gets it from. Well,
yes.
That's too bad, Rocky. You're on punishment. But you know what? We hope that you have a great Thanksgiving, and we love providing this show for you, the Under the Hood show. And we should talk about, by the way, as we go, the Under the Hood merchandise. Cuzzo, right there. That's available right now. I know we've got hoodies and we got t-shirts as well. It's in the description of our podcast. So look, it's getting chilly in the Midwest and the Northeast and wherever you're watching. So you might as well just get locked in with an Under the Hood hoodie. Represent the podcast that you love the most with the
Top
Under the Hood merchandise. Stuff. It is top shelf. All you gotta do is go to that link tree, and boom, you are right there with Under the Hood merchandise. And again, guys, ladies, protect your hoodie as much as possible, especially during this climate that we have right now. Be careful.
And more importantly, when you get this top shelf Under the Hood products, take a photo in it.
Yes.
Tag Cuzzo in it. and like it means a lot. Like he's provided you with 30 years of quality sports entertainment and knowledge. So when you get you one of these hoodies or one of these,
Yes. Take care of us. There it is right there. The Under the
shirts
Hood
or
merchandise.
tumblers,
Yes.
take a photo.
That's right, Cuzzo. Take a photo. For Cousin Wiley, this is Jonathan Hood. Thanks so much for checking out Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood with no Rocky coming in at the end. Oh well. There he is, folks. Look at him. Happy Thanksgiving, Cuzzo.
Happy Thanksgiving.